The iOS operating system can't store secrets. Apple's already admitted that to us. They launched a technology called Apple Pay. Why? It uses hardware embedded within the iOS environment to store your keys for payment because you can't store keys in the operating system. Well, we should take that as a note. You can't store keys in the operating system. You need a better protection model. By the way, a long time ago for people in the mobile world, we used to try and put keys just in phones and handsets. And guys with antennas could sit alongside the freeway and clone all the phones that went by. And we had like 80 million identity thefts in 1994. Everybody's phone got cloned. Then we had a brilliant solution. We had passwords for every long distance phone call. Remember that? DD tones, type password in. Tell that to the millennial kids. It's just fantastic. They're like, huh? You mean even phones you have to log into? So today, when you think about multi-factor authentication and all this great stuff everybody's talking about, remember that your favorite form of multi-factor authentication is the send button. The industry spent billions of dollars, put a hardware security chip in the phone. They registered it, great annoyance to all customers in the marketplace. It worked out great. And since the early 1990s, the valuation of subscribers done nothing but go up. So perhaps we should take some of this mobile technology and replace the CompuServe model that we use in the current app concept, where you download the app and the first thing you do on the user interface is type in your username and password. Everybody got good ones? There are great passwords out there. But here's the fundamental problem. While we weren't paying attention, and we're trying to solve the authentication problem, we just had a great announcement from the top 4 largest carriers in the marketplace today that they are going to solve the authentication problem by turning on the SIM chip for everybody. About time. Should have happened 15 years ago. Congratulations, we should accept their finally admitting that they should open the door and let all of us play within that architecture. But guess what? Along the way, it's moved from just keys to messages. Payments aren't authentication, they're a message. IoT, it's not an authentication, it's a message. You don't log into the light switch and get a mini browser and it shows you little controls, you get to dial the lights up and down. No, you have an app on your phone that says, set lights 50%, and it sends an instruction to the light switch that says set lights 50%. IoT and nuclear launch codes are the same thing. If you doubt this, go rent Crimson Tide, and the whole movie is about they sent the message, but the signature wasn't complete, and then the whole submarine is in a panic trying to figure out whether to turn the lights on or not. Fortunately, we have robots, not humans, inside the light switch trying to decide whether to set the lights. So it should only follow the instructions if the instructions are signed. So payments, blockchain, IoT are a messaging-based protocol, not an authentication-based protocol. By the way, do we want just a message? Or would we like to know a message and know from whence it came? So today, as we have all these great AI systems, machine learning, automation is all going on, just remember it's all running on fake news. All the data today that we operate comes from unknown computers. When we fire up our device, we don't check to see the integrity of our device. We don't understand whether it can produce code. You can't send somebody an ICO address for a blockchain thing. Hey, put $1 million on this on Thursday afternoon at 5 o'clock. Trust me, it's real. People have lost millions of dollars because we have zero technology for those poor people doing a token sale to send a message to a friend that they can prove actually came from them. Really? So like if I send a message that says, open the dam, 50%, there's a flood coming. You know what the guys do? They just open the dam. How do we know it came from someone real? How do I know when the president sends a tweet, it actually came from the president? Well, you might be able to tell by context and AI and deep machine learning. Maybe. So what we need are messages and keys with policy attached. So we have a known device in a known condition that ships it. So the goal here is to simplify protection by protecting from loss, protecting from theft, and verifying the supply chain of the things that provide the protection. So what we need is a vault within our phone. Good news is we already built one. So today, 1.4 billion devices on Android run the Trustonic TEOS, which gives us over-the-air provisioning capability for the last 3 or 4 years to put an app in a handset that runs isolated from the primary OS. Oh, so we can store and process keys inside the phone, not just store an authentication, but actually form an instruction or a message. Now the challenge with that is it's a single supply chain. Do we trust, pick your vendor of choice, Samsung, LG, HTC, did they do it right? Was there a mistake? Is there a weakness in the platform? Intel's been having a little problem over the last year losing everybody's keys within the chipset because people make mistakes and they'll go fix it. And the good news is they have the resources and the motivation and the brand that either they fix it or they lose the brand. So we actually announced this morning an interesting relationship we've been working on for the last few months with Telefonica to combine the trusted execution environment to store half of your key and the SIM chip to store half of your key. So independent supply chains that are protecting the keying material that's in a device. You have the quality and certification of a SIM chip, but they're really slow. And you have the performance and flexibility of a trusted execution environment. You combine them together, you have a really elegant solution for providing the consumer protections we need to construct messages. The first place we're going to take this capability is into the blockchain space. Why? Because they're all in a panic about where you're going to lose your private keys. And they just successfully accumulated somewhere between $5 and $10 billion to fund projects to do cool things. From supply chain to identity to entertainment to critical infrastructure to IoT, they have budget. They're not waiting for the VCs to fund them. With the context of cryptocurrency and the funding mechanisms that have been created a whole new industry that is really going to permeate almost everything we do. Blockchain is cool. Why is blockchain cool? Blockchain is the ability of the internet to store a fact. In all of mankind's history, we recorded history in stone. With the advent of blockchain, we have the ability to store history with math. And that's cool. It might not turn out to be the greatest idea. Humans actually are quite beneficial of the ability to forget stuff. So keeping all of history perfectly stored in math may or may not turn out to be the greatest idea, but we're technologists. We don't think that far in the future. We're just glad the stupid stuff works. So in addition, in your handset, there are other capabilities. There's trusted display. So in a Samsung Galaxy S8 handset, I have the ability to put a message on the screen that can't be read or altered by the OS. It's a global platform standard API. We just use it. Oh, so you mean like I can send a message from your bank that says, do you really want to transfer $431 from this account to that account, have it show up on the screen, and know that it can't have been altered by the operating system or malware. And then I can have human present consent, which sends a message back over a secure channel from the trust environment back to the bank so I can confirm the instruction. Cool. Oh, you mean we can do e-commerce, finally, in the same kind of quality and security that we do at a Walmart point of sale terminal. You go to Walmart, you buy a bunch of stuff, you stand at the cash register, ignore the cash register, that thing will lie to you. There's a point of sale terminal that has security and infrastructure as part of it, and it has a secure display, and it says you're spending $129 at Walmart. And you slice your card through it, and it charges you $129. And it has PCI compliance, which is attestation that those things are real. So what we've done is build the infrastructure for attestation to the trusted execution environment. So now I can prove that the measured device is operating properly, and we can incorporate into that measured device as part of the keys rules from any external service. So I can ask your enterprise, are you still an employee? Is the enterprise feeling good today? Are you under attack? You can have a dynamic cyber threat level change the authentication protocol in real time as you use your phone. The world goes under attack because, I don't know, Maersk the other day lost $10 billion a couple years ago because they got hacked by a Ukrainian hack or a Russian hack that got loose on the internet, and it killed all of Maersk's global network. It'd be really cool if you could shut that stuff down at machine speed. This is how you can shut stuff down at machine speed. So by integrating dual devices that jointly supervise each other, we have the ability to assure that one thing is supervising the other thing, checking to see if you're healthy. This is kind of like Before you go scuba diving, you're supposed to do a buddy check and make sure, like, hey, did you turn your air tank on? Because it turns out it really sucks if you jump into the ocean and you forgot to turn your air tank on. You feel kind of dumb, but it's a really useful thing to do a buddy check where somebody's like, hey, let me check your compressed air and make sure it's on. And so these mechanisms are a very useful mechanism for your device to help you as a user or as part of the enterprise to assure that policies were in place when keys were used. So when we look at things like GDPR, the new privacy regulations out of the European Union, it's not about having all these controls in place. It's about the ability to prove the controls were in place after a breach. So we think we need to move from controls to provable controls. We think that's a really interesting way to think about it. In addition, stop thinking of your superphone as the only device in the house. Where are you going to back up your keys? How about on all the other things you own? So how do we want this to work? We could all sit around and have a user group and in about 15 minutes invent what the industry needs to build for us. What do you want? When I make a new key on my phone to unlock the front door, make a copy of it on my PC. Where's your PC? It's locked in my office. Why can't your PC hold the keys? It can. 1.4 billion PCs have hardware security on the motherboard, industry standard, more industry standard than mobile industry. It's similar to a GSMA like SIM chip on the motherboard, except it's embedded, called a trusted platform module. It's only 1.4 billion PCs and no service provider. That's sort of an interesting subnote for anybody who's in the carrier business. Wouldn't it be cool to like have AT&T keys on my laptop so when I get on an airplane, it just connects me to GoGo? Like, is that the most annoying thing? You're sitting in the middle seat typing in your credit card details while everybody watches? Because we're too stupid to remember that mobile is device registration and what we want to do is roaming, and that there's this new set of towers called GoGo inside aluminum tubes going at 30,000 feet, and we just want to connect. We don't want to, please type in the code to prove you're not a computer. Like, really? If I got a supercomputer trying to hack GoGo on the airplane, will somebody save me? So your collection of your devices are your identity. Your phone, your children's phone, your parents' phone, your friend's phone. These are the things that can help us to manage more valuable transactions. Like if I'm going to open a new bank account, maybe it takes 2 of my devices, not just 1. They're interesting things that are possible. This social collection of devices is what will replace the LAN. Like, explain to the kids we're going to have to take a video camera, punch a hole in the firewall in order to share the video to grandma's phone in order for grandma to watch the baby cam. There's like 3 people in this whole hall who know how to set up a Linksys router so that it'll tunnel video from house 1 to house 2 across LA without like breaking the whole security of the network. That's not what we want. We want Telegram. We want the phone to have a Telegram account and the video camera. Oh, you mean like they could chat with each other? They could be friends. And that friends would allow them to connect. Well, what kind of friends should they be? Well, they should be very highly assured cryptographic friends delivering top secret security. Well, that's not necessary for a consumer application. I'm evil. I put baby cams on my children when they were really small so I can tell stories about my 23-year-old now. So you know what they do? They take their clothes off. They're 11 months old and they have figured out how to remove all their clothes and they're dancing naked in front of the video camera. It's fantastic. So now let's understand, we're actually sharing naked baby photos on the internet. Oh, so that's like 20 years to life if you're doing that. So this is top secret classified high assurance data. Like, this is a problem. This is more important than Pentagon secrets. So we should use nuclear launch technology to deliver them. We haven't. We just have to turn it on. We have to stop thinking about ports and wires. By the way, that's the plain old telephone service. We have wires and the port you plug your phone into gives you the phone number. We have this new technology called mobile. It's a fantastic idea. It's based on the identity of the device, not the person. It's an easy mistake. We keep thinking we're connecting people. People aren't being connected. People's devices are being connected. They're there to serve us. So this is about decentralized trust, secure messages, not just authentication. We need consumer protections built in. from the ground up, day one, every day. Why is it that Samsung ships a trusted user interface capability, but only on their European handsets? Why? What, we're Americans, we don't deserve security? Like, what is wrong? It's in every chipset, turn it on, we create no demand. There's no interest in us having a message that would be high assurance and then go away after 30 seconds. Oh, you mean Snapchat, that works. That's what it is. We actually don't understand how much we really want this. So at the end of the day, this is the security to operate crypto, and it provides the concept of a self-sovereign, provable cyber control that's owned by the owner of the platform, not controlled by the carriers. Carriers and manufacturers need to help us to manage our keys, not control our keys. This argument around eSIM and SIMs and all this stuff is crazy. We want 12 different roots of trust in our device, controlled by us, the consumer. We're the ones who own the keys. It's our data, our privacy, our identity. It is no longer the carrier's identity. The network has changed. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Stephen. What great energy, and who is not annoyed by the go-go in flight?
One of the most critical issues we find today is finding a balance between security and usability. At Rivets, we provide decentralized security that requires no compromises or sacrifices. It's simple, it's built in. We protect the consumer, enterprise, and carrier information. We verify the intent of all transactions utilizing blockchain and trusted computing technology, which is available on millions of mobile devices today. A root of trust is a secure capability in the hardware of your device. It repeatedly performs trustworthy operations. In most mobile devices today, there are two roots. There's a SIM, which is controlled by the carrier, and a secure chipset, which executes the Trusted Execution Environment, or the TEE. With dual roots of trust, we distribute the keys across two trusted environments, the TEE and the SIM. If one of those environments were to fail or succumb to an attack, we would still need to compromise the other portion of the key in the other secure environment to steal information or other data. If your phone is out of your control, we can guarantee that your information is appropriately protected. We enable carriers to deny access to protected apps in the event that a device is lost or stolen. If that device is recovered, reactivating the access is a simple interaction with the carrier. Many employees today use their own devices at work. Employees can use company apps and access company data. Utilizing dual roots technology, it's possible for an enterprise to assert their digital rights. For example, if an employee is terminated, the organization can ensure that that employee can no longer access any corporate information. When using dual roots of trust, a key is created when the Rivets-enabled app is installed. This key to the application is cryptographically distributed between the TEE and the SIM. The app will alert the user by noting split keys created, meaning a portion of the key has been sent to the SIM and another portion to the TEE. Without both portions of the key, no one will be able to break through the app's security. Let's pretend the text here is your secret and you want to protect it. With both portions of the key present, you can encrypt and decrypt it as many times as you want, no problem. Now let's say you lose your phone and tell your carrier to revoke access to your phone by deactivating the SIM. Now, when I try to decrypt the message, the app says, "No secure element present," and I am unable to encrypt or decrypt the message. For the dual roots of trust system to work, you need to have both portions of the key from the TEE and the SIM card both available on your phone. So once I replace the SIM card and I have both the roots of trust, the system will work again. Once the SIM card is activated, we have our secret back.
Two-factor authentication is really important because the traditional method of logging in with a username and password is no longer sufficient to protect your online accounts from banking to social media and email. Passwords are easily forgotten and stolen. Two-factor authentication is integral to protecting your identity and online account access. If your phone is lost or stolen, regaining access to your 2FA-enabled accounts can be incredibly difficult, time-consuming, or even impossible. Rivet's Authenticator is the solution. Rivet's Authenticator is the first 2FA solution to offer backup and recovery of your 2FA keys using your phone's existing hardware security capabilities. You also retain complete control over your encrypted backup files. Rivet's Authenticator generates 2FA codes in your phone's secure hardware chipset, protecting them from the operating system and potential malware. Other 2FA apps generate the codes in software, exposing them to phishing attacks and other threats. This secure hardware chipset is called the Trusted Execution Environment, also known as the T, and is already embedded in millions of Android devices. Rivet's Authenticator is built from the ground up using hardware-based trusted processing. Rivet's Authenticator is compatible with your favorite online services: Gmail, Facebook, Twitter, Coinbase, and more. Your services are easy to add. Enter them manually or use a QR code. Rivet's Authenticator monitors the state of your device for changes caused by spyware or other malicious software. We'll notify you if your device state changes. You can save all your services as an encrypted backup so they can be recovered in case your device is lost or stolen. Your backup is secured with a 12 or 24-word recovery phrase. It's easy to restore access to your services. Simply open your backup and enter your recovery phrase. The app also functions completely offline within your device, so we never see your keys, codes, or even backups.
What is Confirm? The Rivets Network's state-of-the-art developer toolkit harnesses the hardware-based Trusted Execution Environment, or TEE, already built into millions of mobile devices. With the toolkit, you'll be able to protect secrets, finances, and provide privacy from external threats. Confirm is a service in the Rivets network that provides the ability to securely validate transactions executed by a user online. Once the user initiates a transaction, Confirm delivers a secure message directly to the user's mobile device. If you initiate a money transfer from your bank account with Confirm, you'll be sent a secure message asking you to verify or confirm that you intended that transaction. Leveraging global platforms, security standards, and Truster user interface API specifications, Confirm provides strong multi-factor assurance of the intent of a transaction. Seamlessly integrating with existing platforms and applications, Confirm can be utilized in banking, cryptocurrency exchanges, and secure messaging. How does Confirm work? When a user initiates an action through your web application, Confirm will deliver a highly protected message from the TEE to the secure display of the user's registered device. The user can confirm or reject the action. The secure display is called the Trusted User Interface, or TUI, and only displays confirmation requests directly from the TEE within the device. The TUI is broadly supported on Samsung and other high-end Android devices.